Good evening. It is Saturday night, and I keep watching the the radar, and it looks like we're fixing to get a lot of rain, unless something's happened in the last little bit. The last I looked, it was headed our way. So I hope y'all are ready. I hear North Alabama has been hit pretty hard, and of course other places too been hit pretty hard with this ice storm. So be praying for them. And just be careful as you are going around. So tonight we're going to read Genesis chapter 30. And let's see. Genesis chapter 30. I always like to make sure I look, because a couple of times I have gotten kind of turned around and read the same chapter twice. Not that that hurts anything, but I don't want us to fall behind. So Genesis chapter 30. And we're picking up, yesterday we left off where Jacob's children were being born, the first four of them, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. And so now we're going to pick up with Rachel. When Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, she envied her sister. She said to Jacob, "Give me children or I shall die." Like he had any control over the matter. Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in the place of God, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb? Then she said, Here is my servant Bilhah. Go into her, so that she may give birth on my behalf, that even I may have children through her. Well, now, who does that sound like? Abraham and Sarah trying to help God. So she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife. And Jacob went into her, and Bilhah conceived, and she bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, God has judged me, and has also heard my voice, and given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. Rachel's servant Bilhah conceived again, and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, With mighty wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and have prevailed. So she called his name Naphtali. I think I'm saying that right. When Leah saw that she had ceased bearing children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Then Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a son, and Leah said, Good fortune has come. So she called his name Gad. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son, and Leah said, Happy am I, for women have called me happy. So she called his name Asher. And I actually know a little boy named Asher. In the days of wheat harvest, Reuben went and found mandrakes in the field. Now, you know, Reuben was the oldest child. Reuben went and found mandrakes in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. Now, if you've ever watched Harry Potter, you know there's a plant that they have called mandrakes. And this is not that. I don't know what this is, but it's some kind of a plant. Then Rachel said to Leah, Please give me some of your son's mandrakes. But she said to her, Is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Would you take away my son's mandrakes too? Rachel said, Then he may lie with you tonight in exchange for your son's mandrakes. Now, hey, Miss Twyla, if I understand correct, mandrakes were supposed to be good for fertility issues in women. So that would be one reason why she wanted them. Probably the only reason she wanted them. And maybe she thought, well, he can sleep with her one night, but I'll get straightened out and then I'll get him back in my bed. When Jacob came from the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, You must come in to me, for I have hired you with my son's mandrakes. So he lay with her that night. And God listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. Leah said, God has given me my wages because I gave my servant to my husband. So she called his name Issachar. Now, God did not give her that baby because she gave her servant. That was, as Tara Lee Cobble says, everything in the Bible is either descriptive, which is telling you about something, or prescriptive, telling you to do something. And this was descriptive. God had not told them. The only one God intended for him to be married to was Leah. All those others, but they had to get in there and help. And of course, Leah and Rachel's father got in there too, but Leah was the one he was married to first, and God considered her the wife. God has given me my wages because I gave my servant to my husband. So she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and she bore Jacob a sixth son. Then Leah said, God has endowed me with a good endowment. Now my husband will honor me because I have borne him 6 sons. So she called his name Zebulun. Afterward she bore a daughter and called her name Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel, and God listened to her and opened her womb. She conceived and bore a son and said, God has taken away my reproach. You know, we've talked about before that when women didn't have children, everybody thought something was wrong with them, and usually it was. They thought they were being punished, basically. They thought God was punishing them when they didn't have children. She conceived and bore a son, and said, God has taken away my reproach, and she called his name Joseph, saying, May the Lord add to me another son. And this next section is titled Jacob's Prosperity. As soon as Rachel had borne Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, Send me away that I may go to my own home and country. Give me my wives and my children for whom I have served you, that I may go, for you know the service that I have given you. But Laban said to him, If I have found favor in your sight, I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. Now, divination is witchcraft. That's looking at a Ouija board or looking at your horoscopes or doing tarot cards, all of that. All of that is witchcraft, and you need to stay away from that. So maybe he went and talked to a witch. I don't know what he did. But he found out through divination that the Lord had blessed him because of Jacob. Name your wages, and I will give it. Jacob said to him, You yourself know how I have served you, and how your livestock has fared with me. For you had little before I came, and it has increased abundantly. And the Lord has blessed you wherever I turn. But now when shall I provide for my own household also? Shh. He said, What shall I give you? Jacob said, You shall not give me anything. If you will do this for me, I will again pasture your flock and keep it. Let me pass through your flock today, removing from it every speckled and spotted sheep and every black lamb, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and they shall be my wages. Well, I think typically sheep and goat, well, back then anyway, I think they were probably mostly solid color. And I know Jacob had a plan up his sleeve, but Laban was thinking even then he's not going to do what needs to be done. So listen to what happens. So my honesty will answer for me later when you come to look into my wages with you. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and black among the lambs, if found with me, shall be counted stolen. Laban said, Good, let it be as you have said. But that day Laban removed the male goats that were striped and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, every one that had white on it, and every lamb that was black, and put them in the charge of his sons. And he set a distance of about 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob pastured the rest of Laban's flock. Then Jacob took fresh sticks of poplar and almond and plane trees, and peeled white streaks in them, exposing the white of the sticks. He set the sticks that he had peeled in front of the flocks in the troughs, that is, the watering places, where the flocks came to drink. And since they bred when they came to drink, the flocks bred in front of the sticks, and so the flocks brought forth striped, speckled, and spotted. Now, I'm thinking that's probably witchcraft too, I don't know. And Jacob separated the lambs and set the faces of the flocks toward the striped and all the black in the flock of Laban. He put his own droves apart and did not put them with Laban's flock. Whenever the stronger of the flock were breeding, Jacob would lay the sticks in the troughs before the eyes of the flock, that they might breed among the sticks. But for the feebler of the flock, he would not lay them there. So the feebler would be Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. Thus the man increased greatly and had large flocks, female servants and male servants, camels and donkeys. So see, he's back to his tricks, but I think he's about found a match in Laban. Laban's not going to let him get away with anything. So that's the end of that chapter. Now tomorrow night is Bike Church night, and we will do that on the 3-in-1 Motorcycle Ministry page. It'll be like we're doing it tonight. It'll just be over there. So be sure to join me to be at 6 o'clock. And I'm thinking there was something else I wanted to mention to y'all. Oh, I'm starting a small group, a sermon-based small group. And what happens is you listen to it. I mean, you come to church or you can watch it on Facebook. You listen to the sermon, and we supply discussion questions. And so I'm going to be doing it on Google Meet, which is kind of like Zoom, but I think it'll be a little better. I give you the questions the first part of the week as soon as I have them, and then you watch the sermon, and then we come together on Google Meet and we discuss it. And you know, we can't meet more than an hour because that's the limit on the thing. But we're trying to do this for those who maybe can't get to Greenville, because most of our small groups, that's where they meet, either at the church or in people's homes. And I've got some friends that live a good ways off, but they want to participate, so we're doing it this way so that we can get to know one another better and build our knowledge and learn a little bit, because that's the main thing, is learning about each other, but learning about Jesus. So if you are interested at all, let me know. I'll put your name on the list. As soon as I get the questions, I'll go ahead and send them to you. If you can come to church in the morning and hear the sermon, that'll be fine. If not, watch it on Facebook. It's on Lifeline Church of Greenville. I'll send you the link to that too if you need it. You watch the sermon, and then we'll get together Friday night at I think 6 o'clock. I think that's right. I'll have to look and see, but I'll let you know. So we'll do that, and I think we'll enjoy it. I love the small groups that I get to go to. I love going. We have a good time. We talk about stuff. We're learning, but we're getting to know one another, building relationships there. And that's what church, I mean, we should be learning about Jesus, but we should also be building relationships. My friend Twyla right here, we have become very close friends because we're in church together and we're in groups together and we participate in things together, and we just have a good time. And we've gotten to know one another. We've got a lot in common. We're both widowed. We've both got grandchildren that we love beyond imagination. And so, and plus we've got other things. We both like to go thrifting, and we just both like to have fun. So we've gotten to know one another. I wouldn't have met her if I hadn't gone to a small group, because it's hard to meet people if you just go to the church service. But anyway, if you're interested in that, let me know. Message me on here, and I'll give you some more information if you want it, got any questions or whatever. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me. And we will see you tomorrow night at Bike Church.